Okay, there you go. So my question to you, Jessica, is how did you feel about our 1 hour session that we did?
Our 1 hour session of the actual meeting or the conversation after?
It's the conversation we had.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought it was, I felt like you cared about my best interests, and I felt supported because you were willing to be honest with me about opportunities to grow, and you believe in where I could go and my potential. So it's just a nod that everyone should have different kinds of relationships in their lives, mentors or otherwise, that can help you grow, as well as the people you can pour into yourself as you're growing as a leader. So it just confirmed that I'm headed in the right direction and that I was listening to you.
That's good. So you watched the video, right?
Did you send me it? I don't.
No, you watch our meeting, the recording of our meetings, because you recorded it.
Oh, I did not watch the playback, but I sent it to you.
Oh, because Jason was the one that recorded it and he just sent it to me. Okay, so I'll send that to you so you can review it too. Okay, so now your turn. Thank you for that, Jessica.
You're welcome. Okay, so my question is for Dr. Rob. My question for you is, where do you see yourself at the end of 2021?
Well, we've got a great question, by the way. We've got 3 months left, one more quarter. At the end of it, I see a little bit more stability. Obviously, when you take off for a month and you can't run your businesses and you go halfway across the world, it puts a dent. So I'm just coming back to trying to get stability in everything I'm doing as far as sales. And I've made a couple of good sales, surprising ones, but I've been doing press releases lately. That's been a very hot item. A lot of people want press releases for their announcements, their launches, all that stuff. So I guess just with more stability is the general answer.
Awesome.
Love it. Awesome. Thank you.
All right, Dr. Rob, your turn.
All right. So Eddie, I want to know what your next goal is for your company and what you're actively doing to get to that goal.
The news is this week I met with a guy who runs a $750 million international real estate development company. He's been bugging me to meet with him. He's been working on a blockchain, trying to figure out how to integrate our stuff with blockchain. I told him it was totally useless and a bunch of buzz. So we met at his office in Santa Clara. He said, we have two options. One, I invest in your company, or we do a partnership with my company. So right now we're doing the due diligence on that. And I'm doing due diligence on, so here's the pivot. So this is actually, I was talking to Maria, and she said, her response is talk about it. But the pivot is, instead of building websites and portals for other real estate agents, for Compass, et cetera, they get the leads, they get the authority, they get unique data that we only have. So therefore they have it, they get the authority. The pivot is, well, what if we could do our own national real estate brokerage? We hire, instead of training every other agent and every other company, we only train our agents. And we compete against the Redfins, and fundability. It's a lot bigger. We can raise 50 million versus 5 million with a SaaS. So I wouldn't mind picking your brains and get your thoughts, but that's where I'm at right now on a pivot.
Awesome. Thank you, Eddie. Now, who do you want to ask the question next?
I'm going to ask Rob's feedback, but
No. You got to go pick up somebody else.
Oh, the rules.
The rules. You got to follow the rules.
Call.
So James, you were talking originally about how you had a great, I wanted to ask you, so this is not the, oh yeah, you found a great VA and really you're moving along. And I'm struggling finding good people. So I was curious how you did that, and how can you advise others how to find effective employees?
So for me, I've been trying and error. I've been like, okay, sounds like what you're saying is exactly what I need, but then sometimes they just overpromise. I hired an agency before that. Didn't help me. Actually, two agencies before that didn't help, because I thought instead of hiring an individual, if I can hire an agency that is managing multiple individuals, it would be the smarter thing to do. That's what I thought, and just it didn't work out. But I got like, actually he did the outreach for me on Facebook Messenger. I talked to him a lot because I've been burned like twice already. I was like, I have to make like better questions. I gotta take this seriously. Like I can keep, hiring the wrong person. So what I did, like I was with him in the phone, and I could tell like with all the questions and everything that we talked, that he was a very like honest. He was like saying like, look, the minimum outcome is gonna be still like great. So okay, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take the commitment. And it was like 30 days anyway, like it wasn't like a huge commitment. And he's like working with me it's gonna be a week tomorrow. And he's already given me like an insane, like over like 20 already appointments in like a week. It was like insane, like and qualify like almost all of them. If not, like people are still like, they just don't have the budget. So yeah, like it's pretty good.
That's awesome. All right, James, who do you want to ask question next?
I have already, Eddie and Rob already went, right? So,
Yes.
I don't know how to say Hayden. Is that how you pronounce your name? Hayden, right?
Yeah, sorry, I joined late. The acceptance to this email was in my junk mail, so I don't really know what's going on. I'm new, but
That's okay, Hayden.
yeah.
We're just doing a Q&A right now. So everybody's just asking a question. Get to know people, okay?
Oh, okay, cool.
All right, so James
Yeah.
is just gonna ask you a
So,
question.
so what was your question, James?
Yeah, so my question is, what is your expertise and what is your passion? Are they the same? Are they different? That's my question.
That's a good question. I would say that's part of the reason I joined Edward Jones as a financial advisor, was simply I grew up in Long Beach, California, and I still live there, and I work in Seal Beach. And my biggest passion was always wanting to. I played football, and I wanted to make it professionally, and I did make it professionally for a little bit. And my goal was to make enough money where I could go back to. I went to Long Beach Poly, a very impoverished school, and be able to pay for every kid on the team's dinner, because I would say 99% of the players don't eat dinner every night. And I tried to do that on my own when I was working side jobs, but it's just too expensive, and to have my own lifestyle. And that was always my goal. And football didn't work out, so I was looking at jobs where I could still serve the community in some capacity. And I found Edward Jones as a financial advisor. I can bring financial education that could change the longevity of people's, financial security. And a lot of people, we live in a microwave society, and I think to build wealth takes time, and a lot of people don't understand that just because of the instant gratification need. And if I can just bring education to the Long Beach, Seal Beach, the southern LA County folks, that'd be great. I mean, obviously I want to have small business clients as well and make enough money where I can donate those things, but I would like to educate people as well. So I think it's a two-pronged approach, and I'm hoping as my career goes on, I can function that way. I would say more of a passion would be get back into coaching as a volunteer when my career gets a little bigger and I have more free time. But until then, I just have to focus on other things. But Thank you for the
Awesome.
question.
Thank you, Hayden. All right, so you have Justin who's left for a question. So what's your question for Justin?
Well, I guess I'll ask Justin. But are the questions more personal based like James, or are we going more anything on the
Anything
table?
you want, business or personal?
Okay, I guess I'll go business. Justin, what have you found? I don't know what type of business you're in or anything, but what have you found during this year plus of pandemic to be the most that you've utilized the most to serve your clients or your business in any way? Because it's just been a year of change. So how have you adapted?
Well, right now I am selling solar for homes, so people are able to save money on their electric bill. And during the pandemic, a lot of people, businesses are not doing well and they're out of work. So it would be a good opportunity for them to be able to save money on solar.
Awesome. Now, Justin, who do you want to ask? I know I'm the one left, but you can ask anyone if you want.
Okay. So I'll ask Rob. So I don't think I ever met you before, Rob. Are you a doctor?
I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a doctor of education.
Okay,
Former
interesting.
professor.
What kind of education?
I was a professor and I taught business and entrepreneurship, and my doctoral thesis was on project-based learning.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much. That was awesome. And welcome, Hayden, for being here. I know this is your first time. So what we normally do is we do our Q&A. The second part of what we do is we try to find a topic that we can learn from each other. So this is the part where I'm going to start that. And so this time I'm going to actually ask Dr. Rob to help us understand how we can utilize his business for our membership here in FireU-P Connect. Dr. Rob, would you be willing to do that?
Yeah, are you looking just for tactics or some ways that everybody can make themselves more visible? What do you specifically need, Marie?
It's the one that you sent me an email about, and I wanted to get more clarification on that. So if you can explain that to us, that would be great.
Okay. What I want to do for this group, my vision for this group is to see people actively setting growth goals. And what I mean by that is a lot of people wake up in the morning and they don't really have clear direction as to where they go. And they wonder why they have stagnant business growth and they don't have money coming in, they don't have income coming in. And really what I would like for you guys to do, especially for you guys that are coming in every single week and that are being consistent, is to every week set 2 goals and then create 3 tasks that will get you to those goals. That's how I get a lot of things done. And so after you guys leave this call, write down 2 goals for next week that you can report on, and then write down just 3 things really fast on paper that you can do to get to those goals. And as you do that, you're going to see more progression. So for example, if I wanted to make, like, one of my goals, I'll say I set 2 goals. I set income and productivity. So if I wanted to set an income goal and I wanted to make $10,000 before the end of the month, I would look at what I sell, and everybody has a different, price package of what they sell, different services and stuff. I would look at what I sell, how much it is, and then how many sales I have to make to get that $10,000. And so that's the goal. That is the first bullet point, is how many sales I would have to make. The second bullet point would be like how many warm leads I have in that, in that genre. And then the third one would be, okay, it's got to be a direct action. So the third one would be, okay, I'm going to aggressively create social media and reach out, create some videos on this service, and maybe talk about somebody that's bought a press release in the past and what results it got for their business. But the point is, by doing this, you set the goal ahead of time and then 3 tasks toward it, and you guys are going to see amazing amounts of growth because you're directing your mind to a definitive action. That's all I got, Marie.
Okay, awesome. Questions from everyone?
Eddie, go for it.
Can you give an example of, well, I know you were giving an example of like a proactive goal you could do next week, but can you give an example of working with a client or something you've done with this model, or like a case study?
Well, this is more of a self-directed thing. It's not something I do with clients. So can you narrow down the question a little bit? Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, I threw you off. Well, I guess I just wanted to know, like, I'll reframe it. What's a goal that you've accomplished that you kind of modeled the example that went really well for you.
There you go. Thank you. I just sometimes I need real clarity with questions so I can give you the best answer. So for example, for November, I set a goal of like $15,000, and and so that was the income goal for November, last November. And then my direct taskers were, okay, I have this list of warm leads of people that like my stuff, and then I have certain people in my field that are professionals, so they're more likely to afford the higher tier packages. So 4 people ended up hiring me in November, and I didn't make $15,000. I made 20. And it was because I targeted certain people that were at higher end professionals with more money than time. And I learned a lot from that month, because it's too many people market to the world. You don't want to market to the world. You want to market to people that their problems fall within your skill set, your zone of genius. And you want to market to people who have problems you can fix. Very big deal. Focus your efforts on marketing to those people. Like I said, just go for the specific sliver of the population versus too many people getting out there and just marketing to the world. Hey, everybody, you know, buy my stuff. I'm great, blah, blah, blah. It's specificity, very important.
Awesome. Any other questions? We have Hayden.
Hey, Rob. So kind of go on that. So you start touching about marketing to the world and versus, you know, sound like fishing with a pole rather than a net. And I was wondering, and I don't want to get too specific and I want to keep the question a little vague, but like, how does during COVID and this virtual world, how do we find our niche market when we're like at Edward Jones, we're selling ourselves more than, because we don't sell products, we just help you with financial goals. So how do you find that niche market? You know, obviously you would want to find people who find investing important, people who have the money to invest, and people who find the benefits of having someone advise them. So those aren't my niche you're looking for, but how do you find those type of people in a virtual world, I would say, when
Right.
most people with money aren't virtual nowadays, it seems like, because you think of older people.
Right. I always say when you're looking for a specific type, you either isolate the problem or you isolate the person. And so lead generation questions on social media are excellent for finding the problem. So you're Edward Jones. You guys do financial services. Is it insurance or is it financial planning?
Oops, sorry. We do everything.
Okay.
But I would focus on financial. We just do insurance on the back end because I don't like to be salesy. So I like to do that in the back end.
Okay, so I always say this for people that are affiliated with a larger company like Edward Jones or State Farm or even MLMs, focus on you. Focus on being interesting, making video, talking about your industry. Edward Jones does not have to be even in the picture. You do, Hayden. You need to make yourself interesting, and you're just a person that can sell these amazing products and these amazing services and all this stuff, but you have to be upfront and be like, hey, come talk to me if you want to know more about this. And pick that industry and then position yourself as the leader in that industry, and then be freaking visible. 3 Facebook Lives a week, 1 email blast every single week, start a branded newsletter talking about some financial planning. And then maybe even a YouTube channel, but you get on these distribution channels, you start to become familiar. After somebody sees you the 3rd time, they will remember you if your content is interesting. And we'll leave you with the best piece of advice that I ever just popped into my brain one day. Give away what and sell how. Boom.
Okay. And I understand, Hayden, that with the financial services, you have to work with a lot of compliance regulations. So it's pretty strict for you, but I think there is a way to really what Dr. Rob was talking about in terms of branding. And he has 3 programs that he offers through our membership. So I can share that with you, Hayden, if you're interested. Okay, so please provide your comments and to Dr. Rob on the chat. Whatever you think you learned from this, please provide some comments. On chat, will take 30 seconds for you to do that. Okay. So while you're working on that, the next part of our meeting is to do our business share time. This is where you have an opportunity to share a successful story, which is, we only have 1 minute for all of this, for sharing your business. 1 minute only. Either you can share your story, you can either share your challenges that you want people to know, kind of trying to get some help on it, or you can also share a specific goal. I know we talked about that in the beginning, but it's always good to really, repeat it and try to make sure that we are on target and focused. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with, let's go ahead with, let's see, with Jessica. Jessica, I'll start with you.
I knew you were gonna call me and I wasn't ready yet, but that's okay.
Okay, you wanna take another time?
Sure.
Okay, all right. So how about James?
Yeah, so I want to share a success that I was talking about earlier. That I finally found a way to disconnect myself from setting my own appointments, which is good because it's a step closer of becoming a CEO instead of being an entrepreneur and doing everything. Another thing that I'm celebrating this week is my appointments, all my calls went better. And I think it's because a result of me having more energy to like dedicate to these things and not to appointment setting. And also I've been getting more comfortable in video and having more like fluent conversations. And I got a podcast that just came out today.
You have to share that, James.
Yeah.
And share that to the
So,
group.
yeah, I'll share here. So yeah, there's many other things coming, and I'm excited to work with you after I get my video and I get all like my pictures of branding that are coming next when I'm coming back to Oregon. So I'm celebrating that too. Like I'm going back to,
Awesome. Woo!
yeah, this is my last call, my last FireU-P Connect in Puerto Rico until, for a
And
little
you'll be
bit.
back.
Be back in
All right.
Oregon.
Awesome,
Okay.
James. Okay, let's move on to Eddie.
Story challenge. Okay. Well, probably what I'll share once is I talked to a really smart guy. What I found is the only people that really get what I do, understand the data center people get it. And he worked for Lyman or Lehman and they pay people $20,000 to $70,000 for the data. So the small builders know about this data. Sometimes realtors do not. And he suggested and introduced me to, why don't we go after the association? So right now I'm debating, do I go after the association or build my own brokerage? So I'm in those are both wins, both $100 million companies. So I'm trying to figure out which of those two. Then I feel it more like I can get behind the reins of the horse and say, hey, let's go.
Okay.
And
All right.
I really want your lead gen services because I'm paying a guy $200 a month or $200 a week and he's giving me one appointment, which sucks.
All right. Cool. Okay, so let's go on to Justin.
All right. Well, my goal, my achievements or my goal?
Whatever you want. Goal, achievement, or challenges.
Okay, I'll go with all three. So
Okay.
my achievement is I've been able to be independent in selling solar. So I'm no longer having to work for somebody else. And my goal is if I can generate enough sales, this month I have currently 6 customers. I'm pretty confident I'm gonna close 3 deals this month. If I close the 3, that's around $10,000. And if I can continue every month progressing and getting more and more customers, then I'll have enough money to help my dad get his construction company going again. So that's
Awesome.
my goal.
Awesome, Justin. All right. Let's move on to Hayden.
Some of my successes, I had some pretty big accounts I got to pull in the last 2 weeks, which I'm happy about. But then the challenge on the same, and it was with a restaurant owner, so I was feeling confident with restaurant owners. You had like 5 locations, but then some of the challenge was a different restaurant owner I thought I was feeling great with. We had a meeting set up, and he just wasn't in a good mood and canceled on me. And I waited like 45 minutes at his door, and so that sucked. That was yesterday. So that's a challenge. Just got to drip on people. Got to realize sometimes people are gonna have bad days, and I'm part of the problem. I know I just want success now sometimes, and it takes a long time. So I just got to stick to it and get rejected, and know maybe next week or 2 weeks from now, he'll be in a better mood.
Awesome. All right, Hayden. Jessica.
So with taking Dr. Rob's goal approach and then the 3 follow-up action items, I'm gonna go with that. With nailing down my upgraded pricing packages that have evolved since the new year. And my 3 action items around that is my follow-up consultation with Deb, my website that I don't have yet, and 1 publicity kind of one way to be visible outside of these meetings towards that.
Awesome. All right, Jessica. Dr. Rob.
Goal is to close all my warm leads by this month. So I've got a lot of people on a list, and I need to catch up with them and close those sales. That's my goal.
Awesome. All right. Well, wanted to just let you know that I am having my radio show this Sunday at 3:00 p.m. KCAA radio. Please go ahead and watch it. And I'm going to have Jessica Powers is going to be one of my guests. And Jason, yes.
Look at that. I'm already going to be visible.
Yes, of course. There's like 83,000 listeners in that station. And I'm also having Jason Yester and Jonathan Bash, who's the fashion designer. And I'm going to have a special appearance from Corey Clark, who was the ex-American Idol. So he's going to be my co-host for that day. It's going to be awesome. And I'm hoping that Dr. Rob and I will get to have a meeting here, because I'm trying to get him to be one of the hosts for the FireU-P Connect for the radio show also, because he is so much fun. He's the warrior strategist. So, hopefully we can talk more about that. Anyway, okay, so let's do this. We are done with our success sharing. How did you guys feel about that? Was that helpful, or did you guys are able to communicate at least on some of the things that you heard? Is that something that's good for you guys? Comments? I'll ask Hayden. Hayden, what do you think about it?
I think it's good. I think just from a competitive athletic background, I always focus on the negatives to perfect my craft. And when you switch to the business professional world, you have to really focus on the positives, because it's a totally different beast, and I need to work on that. So hearing other people talk about their positives will encourage me to be more positive. I tend to focus on what I need to get done rather than what I've achieved.
Awesome. Man, I like what you say, Hayden. It's really awesome. Okay. So can you please go ahead and put your information on the chat so everybody can connect? And if you heard anything that you can recommend to some of the challenges and goals of the people that have shared it with you, please go ahead and connect with them. Do a one-on-one meeting if you can. It's always good to establish a good relationship, and one-on-one meeting is always good because you get more and you can get a lot more information from each other. Okay, so set that aside. And just to highlight what we have right now, we've got Dr. Rob, who has a tremendous connection with the military veterans and a lot of the business in his community. And you're from San Diego, Dr. Rob, but your connections are all over the world, right?
Yeah, I've got some really unusual ones you wouldn't expect, mostly from having the magazine. I was able to get one of my friends a interview with Mike Michalowicz, who is the New York Times bestselling author of Pumpkin Plan and Profit First. Dude's built like bunch of 7-figure businesses. And I just reached out to Mike, and I got one of my buddies an exclusive interview with him coming out soon.
Okay, awesome. And
Yeah.
Jessica here is very well connected with a lot of high profile people also. For some reason, she has a way to get onto those kind of relationship. And I really admire her for her style of connection. And that's something that I like about her. And we've got Justin, who just became an entrepreneur. And I'm so proud of you, Justin, for what you have accomplished in a short period of time. And I think that you're going to do so well with everything that you're doing right now in your life. Eddie is really working on a big project, and if you guys can really give him some sort of a guidance, that would be great, because he's got a big task to take care of, and he needs to fulfill that. And it's been a while since he's been working on this project. And of course, James is our public relations firm here. And he's got his own challenges, which is interesting that he has to also take care of his own while he's also taking care of other people, which is, it's good that you're very transparent about it, because, sometimes it's always good to help others and we forget how to help ourselves. And it's good that that's pretty normal for people that are doing that kind of service to others. And of course, Hayden is someone that is in the financial service. I think, Hayden, with you, it's really has to be heavy on the business relationship, because it's the target market that you need to bring in are they have to have a very strong trust relationship with those people in order for them to refer to you, because we're talking about their money. So it's really not an easy connection that you can make without building that strong relationship. So for example, Hayden, if you really hit it up with Dr. Rob, you have a one-on-one meeting with him, and then and if there is really a good chemistry, and they see, you both see that there is a good likability, and also once you reach that point, there's that being generous to each other and trying to tap into each other's connection. So it's not just about getting something from each other, it's about giving also. What can you give to Dr. Rob? What can Dr. Rob give you in return? So that's kind of like what you're dealing with, because I know for the financial services representative, you cannot just market yourself just like that, because there's a restriction. So you really have to go deep on the relationship with Eddie. Eddie has a lot of connections, but he is also focused on his business. And with Jessica and James, those are your people that connect with so many people, and that might be a good one for you to really focus on. Justin actually connects with a lot of homeowners because of the solar. There might be something there that you could really look into in terms of the connection, because he is about getting the homeowners trust also in order for them to go after the solar. So there's that level of trust that he needs to build, and that might be something that you can work with Justin. You just never know, right? In regards to what I do, I provide radio show. I have a magazine publication for finest women in real estate. I have a TV show, and I have a networking, which is the FireU-P Connect. And here in FireU-P Connect, it's about the business relationship, because I have a long-term relationship from all of these people. With James, he's a new member of FireU-P Connect, and so I've been getting to know him more and more. And the more we get to know each other, the more I can really help and provide all kinds of information to people. I do real estate land development projects, so I connect with investors too. So that's something that I am gifted in connecting with those kind of projects. Something that you need to know about me. Okay, let's do this. It's 3:41. I'm gonna get some feedback. Any comments, Jessica? Feedback.
I'm just laughing at Dr. Rob's comment in the chat, and I was going to make a funny comment like, Marie, you need to get really motivated. Like,
what did he say? I didn't see that. Let me check.
I feel like I just feel like you're losing some of your thunder and you just don't have enough going on these days. I feel like.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not enough you're a TV producer, working on a movie, have a radio show and a podcast. But where else can we see you, Marie?
She has a magazine.
Oh, hey.
Well, that's the kind of visibility that you're talking about. Actually, I was talking to Justin about some ways that he can be visible for his clients. So, and I was like going back to my real estate marketing when I was doing heavily on real estate residentials. I mean, I remember all the things that I did. It's crazy. We were talking about getting a calendar, those little calendars, the magnetic calendars. Oh, I did those and I put my business card on it and I mailed it to everybody in this specific zip code. So they get my calendar. Yeah, exactly. That's what I did. And that was like, I remember talking to someone and he said that, Marie, I saw your calendar on my father's refrigerator. It was like, it's like an old calendar that is still there, sitting in there. So anyway.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So go ahead, Jessica.
What?
Your comment.
Oh, it's just like back-to-back meetings today, so we're landing the plane though, so it's good. I am super grateful. I'm very grateful that we have not just one, but 8 opportunities with FireU-P Connect to have opportunities to network, to have a close-knit community you can build partnerships with. And even if you're just new to learning about it, it's everything you need is in one room if you follow up. So your freedom is in your follow-up. That's what I'm taking away.
Love that. All right. James.
So we giving feedback on the overall of the meeting.
Yes.
I liked it, really, connecting with Rob for sure. So I like talking with Hayden, and like that question, like really I didn't plan it, to be honest. That first question, it just came out like that and it ended up being like something really good. So and yeah, I like it. It's every week, so it's very consistent. So I like that. And then there's like surprises all the time. It's just like so easy to like show up and connect, and because being a regular is like even more comfortable and everything. So yeah, like
Love
nice.
that, James. All right. Eddie.
I'll share a short story because you mentioned this because I've been in sports and then I was in sales, and sales you have to celebrate your 19 wins just as much as your $1 million success. So that's the mindset you have to have. And I was watching this old sci-fi thing and they said, you mean I got to look at this shot glass and say it's 0.1% full? And the answer is yes. That's what you have to think.
Wow. Love that. Okay, Justin. You have to unmute. There you go.
It's good getting to know everybody. It takes me a little bit of time to get comfortable with people that I don't know, but it's nice that I'm starting to get to know everybody here.
That's awesome, Justin. All right. Hayden.
Yeah, so this is my first time. We connected last week trying to get me on this, and just in a few minutes, my brain's churning because my whole life is about connecting people, and that's first thing I think of is I don't know where everyone's at right now, but first thing is I think it was like just Justin. I have a friend who's also in solar sales, so maybe it's someone you could talk to, and I just want to get to know you guys a little more just so I can make those connections. I've lived a crazy life, and one of my favorite things is connecting people. So hopefully I get to know you guys more going forward.
Awesome. All right. Dr. Rob.
I liked the flow and the connecting in this call. Marie, I specifically think that you did a really good job kind of weaving in these connecting threads with everybody and how they can help each other. So that was my favorite part of this week. And I'm glad we have new members here too. That's awesome.
Thank you, Dr. Rob. Okay. Well, you know, I actually have been blessed by Fire Connect. Um, I have met so many people, people that have also connected me to other people, where this year is my biggest probably accomplishment, because I had one connection through Fire Connect, and he connected me to a group of investors that turned out to be $100 million project. So that is a crazy. I mean, I couldn't even think about that. That would, even come up. And because of Fire Connect, I truly believe that if you really understand how powerful it is, how you can open up and be personable and be able to really connect in a deeper level, that's how you can do more business with each other. Because to be honest with you, it's really hard to work with people that you do not know or you don't trust. And why would I even extend someone, all my connections to someone that I don't even like? Because to be honest with you, it is a lot of effort for me to connect with my connection to be able to just share somebody else's business, right? Because sometimes we can be very selfish, but if there is a good relationship, a good way of caring for each other, that's when you start tapping into your connections and be able to help someone become successful. I mean, it's a good one example is Justin. Actually, is just a friend of mine from Facebook, and we don't really, we don't really have done any business. We were just connected, and we just started talking. But Justin ended up I kind of know what he was doing, and I like him as a person, and I ended up connecting him to a business to where it now is changing his life. So that alone is a great reward for me, to see other people become successful. And I would like to also see that happen for all of you. Like Eddie, I'm working with Eddie for how long now? And I sometimes, because he's got such a large project that it has, so many, it gets too complicated. But at the same time, I care about Eddie, and I wanted to see him become very successful with this project, because when he gets through this, he's going to be a multi-million-dollar. And Eddie, I promise you, you cannot forget about us.
Right. Okay. We're
When
good.
you reach that point to where you are already making millions and millions of dollars, and you need to understand that the people supported you are all here from Fire Connect. Okay, so
Okay.
that's what I'd like to see Eddie reach, because I've always also connected him to an EXP group where they have 6,600 agents, and these people, the leader actually makes $100,000 a month through the EXP system. And the solar has that same capability. That's why Justin and I are working on that too. But it's incredible what what Eddie has in order to tap all of this professionals. So, and James, I think with you and Dr. Rob and Jessica, I think if you guys collaborate on such a bigger picture, I mean, you can create a powerhouse of marketing if you really work together in some ways. Just think about the possibility of making that happen. And if Hayden, your story about being in the football and how you're very transparent in coming in and sharing, your challenges and journey. I mean, you actually opened up some great connections already from these people just by being transparent. And I think, what do you think about Hayden? Do you like him already just because of what he shared? Yeah.
He's
Okay.
on our team.
What's that?
He's on our team now.
Yeah, he's on our team now, right?
We
So
selected him.
yeah, and if you take another step of just really building that relationship, I mean, you will get a lot more business, and especially if you're going after restaurants. Is that your target, restaurant owners, Hayden?
I'm going for small business owners, but I have a personal vendetta of helping restaurant owners who got screwed over this last year. So I want to help them specifically.
Okay. Well, that's good to know, because there's so many restaurants that are that we know that we could definitely share with you. So probably one of these days you could show us how you connect. What is your process of educating them on the financial side of it. Because for me, I also need to know what is your, how do you do that? How do you educate them? Because I can't just, for me, it takes a while for me to recommend somebody if I don't know how they do their, how they communicate with people or how they process their accounts. Because I had one person that I recommended to someone, and then after a month that she got the account, she left the company. And now this client is like, what do I do now? I have no representative in that company. So it's really not good for me to just do that. That's why I'm being very careful right now on recommending someone. Anybody who can, have a feedback. We have 5 minutes.
About, you want to know about like recommendations?
Yes.
Okay, well, my dad got a construction project once, and I was working with another guy. He was a new friend of mine. I didn't know him very well, but he seemed like a hardworking family man. And so my dad subbed out a part of the project to him so he can do the work. And my dad gave him $4,000 cash to go get the material that he needed, and he went and put a down payment on an Escalade. So I was trying to help him out and help my dad out, and it didn't turn out too well.
Yeah.
So that's why we have to be very careful.
Yes. Any other comments?
It's just like sales, Maria. You're just gonna, sometimes you'll win, sometimes you'll lose. So you just have to put it in the odds of things. So some people are great. Even the best people have a little bit of negative in them. So it's just circumstances will make the best people not the best if they got COVID, whatever. So you just have to go with the flow.
And part of it of giving recommendations is make sure that you are also clear on how much you know about the person. And for example, if I recommended someone, I would say, look, I just met him on LinkedIn. This is what I know about him. So you're going to have to make your own decision if he's a good person for you or not. So disclosing exactly how you know the person, it will help you also not ruin your name, right? Dr. Rob, I know with you, you have a lot of people. I don't know. How do you do your recommendations?
Okay. I start trusting someone based on their client results. If I'm recommending them for a job with somebody I know, I look them up a lot of times on Ripoff Report, and I Google their name and the word scam, because 1 or 2 snakes have gotten in the garden. And I didn't do due diligence. And it's important that, especially when you're dealing with higher level people and you're going to that's how I try and delineate and keep out bad people.
Okay. It looks like my internet's going crazy now, but I'm gonna have to let you go. Thank you so much for being here today. Be sure to invite everyone on Friday. We have an 11 o'clock a.m. on Friday. Please support that meeting. And if you have any other questions about the membership, make sure to just connect with me, and I can provide you some more information, okay? So again, thank you so much, and don't forget to connect with each other, all right? Have an amazing weekend.
Great week.
Have an amazing week.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right, bye, Hayden. Bye, James. Bye, Jessica. Bye, Eddie. Bye, Justin.